this day, Spirit, thank you for this day.
So the title of our talk today is Magnificent Obsession. Reminds me of the story of the preacher who was obsessed with playing golf. He loved to play golf. And he would always try to find times when it was the best time to play golf. And of course, one Sunday morning was the absolute perfect time to play golf, but it was at the time of church. And so he called up someone and said, go in and tell them I'm sick or something, but I've got to go play golf today. And so he drove to a golf course that was quite a few miles away, so nobody would see him. And he played golf. So there was an angel watching all this and looked down and said, returned to God and said, God, that guy is playing golf when he should be in church. And God said, don't worry. He said, watch this. So the guy gets up and he smacks the ball. It was a par 4 and it went 500 feet and lands on the green and rolls right into the cup. And the angel said, I thought you were going to punish him. God says, just think about it. Who's he going to tell? So yes, I do miss this. I do miss the vibration of love that's here. I do miss it. Many of the best times of my life have happened here. You mentioned coming when Felix Cavalieri was here. I remember sitting in the back there next to someone who said, that guy sounds just like the record. Yep. And many wonderful people have come through here, and that I am so proud to know and so proud to be a part of. But you see, what I've learned, and I'm still learning, is I kind of take, some people take the heart side of this, and I kind of like to take the scientific side of it, is that we are fields of energy. We are fields of electromagnetic energy that extend out from us. And those fields of energy are connected to millions and millions of other fields of energy. It's connected to the field of energy of this country, of this room, of the earth, which is connected to the field of energy of the solar system and all the other solar systems and the other stars and the other galaxies. It's infinite. Now think about that. Infinite. This field of energy that you're a part of. Now, so the latest scientific stuff tells us that the energy, the vibration of the energy, creates matter. Well, this is not new to us who have studied the science of mind, but it is new in science. And that energy creates matter, and so it is a question of what kind of thoughts am I having, because the thoughts you have create the vibration, which creates the energy, which creates your life. Ooh. Everybody say, uh-oh. Yeah, I know. Because the problem with that is the energy doesn't know right or wrong, good or bad, up or down, in or out, hot or cold. It only knows to create, because it loves you so much it's going to give you whatever thought you are creating the energy with that is creating your life. So that's been my magnificent obsession, was to understand that this thought that creates reality, this church, was once just a thought. A thought that felt right to me, a thought that wanted to happen. And it happened through me and through many others. See, if a thought is born that truly brings happiness to others, it's what I'll call is a magnificent thought. And if you look up magnificent in a dictionary, it says impressive to the mind and spirit. Which comes to, what is it you want as your magnificent obsession? It doesn't have to be, You don't have to be a billionaire. You don't have to found the end of the world or a church or anything like that. But it has to be something from your heart that brings love to others. So this church was that. If a thought is born that truly helps others, it will help you because it's a magnificent, magnificent thing. So your magnificent thought could be whatever you love to do. Maybe it's a dream that contains what you love to do. And even if you think right now it's so outlandish, it's so impossible, but I say to you what I read in the scriptures years ago when I was a Baptist, amen? Lord, I'll never forget it. Said with God, all things are possible. Not just, well, only if it's okay with. Not just, well, I don't know if I can. Not just anything. All things are possible. Wow. And why is that? That's because that field of energy that you are, it's possible to connect with the infinite energy of the universe, and the infinite energy of the universes within universes, which science tells us it's what's happening now. It boggles the mind to think of something so incredibly large and beautiful that you are already connected to. So that whatever you could possibly dream, whatever you could possibly want in your heart, whatever thing, from a car to, I don't know, a love life, whatever you could possibly dream already exists in the infiniteness of Source or God. Some people don't like to call it God. They think it makes us dualistic. I got over that. So get over it. So, because you're connected to this infinite energy field, anything is possible to you. We were watching Netflix, and there's a story on Netflix of Quincy Jones. I invite you to go watch that. It's very inspiring. And the thing about Quincy is he was born on the south side of Chicago, poor. He said he'd never seen a white person until he was 11, And he decided, he got in knife fights, belonged to a gang, blah, blah, blah. But one day he walked into a room and there was a piano. And something in him, I remember he never had a lesson or anything, it just went bling, and he made a chord. And that was it. He resonated with that chord he made. And I could go on. You watch the Netflix series, but the things that he accomplished from that very, very, very humble beginning were because he was connected. And he kept at it. He had a magnificent obsession. Everything in the world said he couldn't do it, but he kept at it, and he kept at it, and he kept at it. And he learned to play many, many different musical instruments. A trumpet, he was known as a premier jazz trumpet player for years. And then he went to study arrangement in the classical studies in Paris for years and became famous throughout. And I went on. And then he went and produced all these wonderful people, including Michael Jackson. And I guess the point I'm trying to make is anything is possible. Every time you practice something, no matter what seems to be going on, you are creating a neural network in your mind. It's electrochemical energy, and that electrochemical energy starts generating a field. And that field is the frequency of what you become. Am I clear? As you think, so you are. I have a new book it's my favorite book right now. I don't know if I should say this, the title of the book, but don't get offended. It's called You Are a Badass. Don't you love that? I love it. How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life. And her name is Jen Sincero, and I highly recommend that book for anybody. But she says this. She says, life is ridiculous. It seriously is. We have no freaking idea what we're even doing here, spinning around on this globe in the middle of this solar system with a who the hell knows what out there beyond it. Making a big fat deal out of anything is absurd. It makes more sense to go after life with a sense of why not instead of a furrowed brow. One of the best things I ever did was make my motto, I just want to see what I can get away with. Takes all the pressure off, puts the punk rock attitude in, and reminds me that life is just a game. See, I know some of you are having difficulties now. Some of you can't see how your career is going to move. Some of you don't think that you're worthwhile. And I want to tell you, that's all BS. Belief system. It's simply not true. This thing that created all of us created you and gave you this incredible capacity to be anything, 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 anything. What did I say? Anything. Your heart desires. Your heart truly desires. See, don't tell me about your excuses and your doubts and your fears and all that stuff. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team for lack of skill. Did you know that? Steven Spielberg was a high school drop-off and was rejected from film school 3 times. Thomas Edison, who was dubbed too stupid to learn. Saisho Honda, the founder of the Honda Motor Company, was turned down by Toyota for an engineering position, and so he started his own damn company. Yeah. Beethoven's music teacher told him he was talentless. Fred Smith wrote a paper while at Yale about his big idea for an overnight delivery service. He got a C, only because the professor wanted him to pass and get rid of him. He went on to create FedEx anyway. So, as you practice something, you create this electromagnetic field, which brings it to you. Now, we call it, in this teaching, the law of mind, which is what? Like begats like. You know, it's no big secret. Some of us kind of stumble through and we go to this class and we read this book and we do this thing and we always forget because we're going back to the old pattern. We simply fall back to that old pattern because it's so strong, you know. Let the path of least resistance move me on. That wasn't what that song was about, was it? Anyhow, the law of mind. So I've learned a few things in my 30 plus years of ministry. And some of the things I've learned, I think can make you happy. First, I've learned this. If you're going to be happy in life, you're going to have a magnificent obsession. A magnificent obsession, like our preacher friend. So obsession has been defined in the dictionary as a motivating, compelling motivation. A compelling motivation. So whatever is in your heart to do, and I don't care, it can be anything from selling real estate to cooking cookies or having a minister. Or, I don't know, tap dancing. One of the things I'm trying now is voiceovers, voice acting. I know you find it hard to believe, but there's a little ham in me. But I have to say that one of the proudest things that I am of my life is, yes, this, and yes, the people who have shared their love with me over the years. And I can't thank them enough, but I'm so grateful for for my grandchildren who are here. Rejoice. Stand up. Stand up. Yeah. Yeah. I know you're all thinking, how'd they get so big? Yeah. Well, same way you did. So you get a magnificent obsession, something that your heart knows and tells you, I love to do this, and I love doing it. And it's no big secret. If you know it, then you love doing it. And I love all of there's my son in the back. He's hiding now. It's all right, you can come in. So, whatever your idea is that gives you joy, that you want to create, like I say, you don't have to be a billionaire. It might be making better cookies. I don't know. Does that give you joy? And I got to tell you something. If you're trying to compare yourself to other people, God doesn't give a rat's. Doesn't. Because you have to. You have to give it. That's the absolute truth. Turn to somebody right now. Say, I bless you and praise you. Now turn to somebody in back of you. I bless you and praise you. Now turn to somebody on the other side. I bless you and praise you. Okay. That's enough of that nonsense. So the second idea is you make friends with your fear. That's the second thing I want. Get a magnificent obsession. Make friends with your fear. What are you afraid to do? Why are you afraid of it? Fear to me is simply the edge of what you know. So when you come to that edge and you feel that fear, it's just saying, hey, wake up. Fear comes from a nicely evolved thing, and it's called the amygdala, part of our brain. It's there to tell us when things might be dangerous to us. The bad part is it also wants us to look at the latest news on television and to be obsessed with it, which only creates that kind of an energy from us. So make friends with your fear. Say, hey, there you are, my old fear. Stop being my old fear and go away. And start telling yourself how wonderful you are, because that's the way you can raise that vibration of energy that will make a big difference in your life. Third thing I do is do what gives you life. Well, what do I mean by that? Years ago, some of you may remember, Garth Brooks was in town, and he lived here, I guess, for 3 or 4 years. I'm not sure of how long he lived here. But I have to tell you, if you're like me, I think of all the magnificent singers. And I'm not putting Garth Brooks down, don't misunderstand me. But Garth isn't one of them. Garth didn't write the best songs in the world. But I tell you what Garth had. Garth believed in himself. He made friends with his fear, and he did what gives him life. And he kept at it, and people turned him down, and he kept at it, and people turned him down. And when they turned him down, he didn't go to his fear. He went right away that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. No matter what happened, there wasn't any money, there wasn't any stuff to show up in his life to tell him he was doing the right thing, but he kept at it. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. This is who I am, and this is what I want. Damn it. And he kept at it, and he became world famous because his field of energy rose and met that place, that infinite place, where that was a possibility became a reality. Do you understand? That's true for every one of us. Amen? And then the next thing I'll say, because thoughts create the energy field around us, the most important thing that you must engage in is forgiveness. Forgiveness. I know you've heard forgiveness talks a million times, so I'm not going to give you another forgiveness talk. But you have to forgive things every day. You have to forgive them when they happen, and then late at night you sit down and you forgive. And you say, I forgive that person for cutting in front of me, even though he is an SOB. No, we forgive. And why do we forgive? Because we want to change that energy from us. We want the energy from us to be pristine and loving, because that's the energy that's going to take us to whatever the new level is we want to be at. But you see, you are here to grow to another level. Did you know that? I used to think not, but that's true. And some of you are going, what? And that what is maybe your first wake-up call, that you have the choice about the next thought you think. You have the choice about the next feeling you have. You have the choice about how your life is going to be. You have that choice. Nobody else does. So, how do you do this? Well, once again, I'm going to go to Jen Sincero's book, because I do love it. She writes this. She says, I used to write for an entrepreneurial magazine where I got to interview all those huge, highly successful business owners. Whenever I asked them what the secret to their success was, the overwhelming majority answered, tenacity. Be the last person standing. Wear down your obstacles and excuses and fears and doubts until they're finally like, you again? And then you say, Jesus. Then you almost tell you the other thing she said. You again? Fine. Here you go now. Get out of my face. You like that? Birthing your dreams is like giving birth. Conceiving the idea is the fun part, hopefully. Then you go through insane moments of fear and excitement and dreaming and planning and vomiting and growing and thinking you're crazy and thinking you're awesome and stretching and shape-shifting until you're practically unrecognizable to everyone. All you mothers know? Even your own self. Along the way, you clean up your puke and massage your aching back and apologize to all those people whose head you ripped off in a hormonal killing spree. But you stay the course because you know this baby of yours is going to be the bomb. Right? Then finally, when you can see a light at the end of the tunnel, labor starts. Your innards twist and strangle and force you to stumble around, hunched over in the shape of the letter C, while you breathe and pray and curse. And just when you think you can't get any more out of your mind painful, a giant head squeezes out of your body. Then a full-blown miracle happens. In order to change your life and start living a new one that you've never lived before, your faith in miracles in yourself must be greater than your fear. However easy or rough your birth process is, you have to be willing to fall down, get up, look stupid, cry, laugh, make a mess, clean it up, and not stop until you get there, no matter what. That's a magnificent obsession. That in my heart is what I wish for everyone. That in my heart is what I wish for this center. That in my heart is what I wish for Reverend Claudia. And all of you. All of you. So the last thing I would say to you is, the fifth thing, it's tantamount. Perhaps it's the most important thing. It's love yourself. Everybody do this like it says in the Science of Mind textbook. Just hold your arms like this. Go. Wonderful, wonderful me. Yeah. Say, I love myself. I believe in myself. And I deserve the very best life has to offer. Amen. And so it is. Yeah.
I want to thank you for this day, Spirit.